The other part of this styling or global styling relationship is global typography. In this case, I'm going to bring in a new block, create your own, and let's bring in a few text elements. I'll just drop around. Let's make it 4. We don't need to overdo it. And then change out the text. I will select this one and call it heading 1. Main heading. I'll just add some extra text so it's not too short. And then heading 2. Another sort of main heading. Then we can call this one, you guessed it, heading 3. Whatever it takes. And the last one I'm going to leave as a paragraph element. So follow along. Click on the first one, go to the options toolbar where you see the T for typography. And now let's look at this area that says typography. Currently it is set to paragraph. This is styling, which means how does it look? That's all. And how it looks is in terms of the font that is selected, no to serif, the size, the weight, how thick it is, and line height as well as letter spacing. This here is the preset. So if you select the drop-down, you're going to see we have custom, paragraph, subtitle, above title, heading 1, heading 2, rings a bell, and then all the way down to button. Now we made this one heading 1, so let's select heading 1, and you can see it gets larger, moves up to 32 pixels, and we also have a -0.5 for letter spacing. Select the next text, T for typography, and we select from the typography drop-down presets heading 2. And then same for the third one, which we're going to put on heading 3. These are presets, and this makes it very easy across your site when you have a specific kind of style for your main headings, your subtitles, and your paragraphs that you can make a preset for it. Again, just like global colors. If you then later on decide, ooh, this one, what is it currently at 32 pixels? No, I think it should be much bigger, something like 64 pixels. Instead then of going everywhere on your page and change it to 64 pixels, because it's a preset, you can just go to the preset and change it there. Where is that preset? Yes, Nancy, you guessed it right. Same place we found the global colors. Go to the stylings in the sidebar on the left, and that's all done down here. And you can see all of those custom presets that we had seen appears here. It starts with paragraph, and that is this one, the text element that is brought in by default. So every time you say add element, go to text and you drag it in, it's going to give you paragraph text. If you wanted a heading, you have to do what we did, go and select it and change it here to one of those presets. Otherwise, it will always draw the impact from the paragraph. Let's go back to the styling and then see what happens if we click here. All of those settings that we saw there appear here. Notice serif is the font, the size over here, the weight, the line height, as well as the letter spacing. If I then now decide that, hey, my paragraph, I don't like no to serif. I don't like this font. I prefer to put it on Montserrat or any other font of your choice, and I select it. Look how quickly it updates there on my page. I also decide that 13 is way too small to read, and that is really true. You shouldn't go for 13 unless it is just page junk that you're throwing there. You don't really want people to read it. You just want some design element on your page. Then 13 is fine. But if you truly want your people to read it without straining their eyes, then you should go for something like 16. So I'll click up here until we get to 16. The weight is normal, and then the line height 1.5, I'll put it on 1.6. And I choose 1.6 because usually your line height is 10% of your pixel size. So if this is 16, you should have your line height around 1.6, and you can even be safer, anything between 1.6 and 1.8. It also depends a lot on how your font looks. Now, we've updated the paragraph. We put it on Montserrat. We've made those changes. Let's go do the rest as well. We have heading 1 here, and we know, so heading 1 is not on Noto Serif. Let's see, it's put on Cardo. And what I will do here is I will put heading 1 also on Montserrat. Look how quickly that updates. I'm going to increase it to 64 pixels. Boom, that's big. And you see the weight here is set to extra light. Let's put it on light. And then the line height, 1.5, letter spacing, we can reduce to -1. Let's make it even -1.5. Very simple how we've updated that. Same for heading 2. To globally adjust the heading 2, we also put it on Montserrat. I'll increase this to 36 pixels. And I think the rest of these settings are fine. And that's how you go through this entire list of presets that you have here. Honest to Bob, you're not going to use all of them. If you select again this text and you go through everything that is here, you see it starts with paragraph, subtitle, above title, and then you have 6 headings plus a button. But wait, there's more. If you go to your styling and you scroll all the way to the bottom here, you're going to see it says Add New. I can create my own style. I'll click on Add New, scroll down again to access it. There where it says New Style, I'll triple click to select everything and I say JP's Style. And now I can design something new. So I'll say Alex Brush, put it on 48. I don't think it's just normal, and that's it. Now if I go to this text here, let's say heading 3, T for typography, and I scroll all the way down from the presets, you will see JP's Style appears here. And if I select it, it will update to that style I had created. The thing is that I can delete this one. So if I scroll all the way down to JP Style, there is a delete. I can select delete. It will remove it and it will still keep the last formatting that was applied to it. But we know this is a heading 3, so we can go here and then put it back on heading 3. Note, there is one feature we've not talked about from this presets, and that is custom. All over my site, I'm using this heading 2, but maybe there is one place where I want it to be larger than the rest. And then if I click on my typography and I say, okay, this specific place here, I want it at 48. So I'll select it and put it on 48. And the moment you do that, you will see it overrides the preset and calls it custom. Here you have the same problem as you had with the color previously, that this one is now excluded from your global styling, which means that if you go later on and you say, ooh, I need to change all my fonts, Montserrat, not a good idea for this site. So you go to heading 2 and you change Montserrat to Quicksand, you will see everything where a heading 2 was will update except this heading 2 because it's custom. If you need to have that full control, try and avoid custom as much as possible, because you'll come back months, years, decades later, or another lifetime. And when you come and change it, you won't remember which ones you've put on custom. Really important to remember that. Another major feature here, which you have to be really aware of, is that all of these settings that we've locked in now is for the desktop. And Brizy gives you the opportunity also to make presets for your typography for tablet as well as mobile device, which is pretty cool. Go to the styling again. Let's select paragraph, and you will notice that up here it is set to desktop. If you select tablet, you will see the size goes down to 13, and if you select mobile, no changes. Which means that for the paragraph on desktop, it's going to display at 16 pixels. If you go to tablet, it will go to 13, and if you go to mobile device, it's also 13. That makes it again responsive so that you have better sizing options for those devices. Point of criticism here is that what is very confusing and can be really disruptive is that you will be here, you will put it on tablet, and you'll start making changes and you don't see any updates here because it's not on tablet. So the first thing you have to do is go to the responsive choice here at the bottom where it says mobile view and select tablet, or you can use Control-Control+ on your keyboard to cycle through those views. Now if you go to your styling and you select heading or paragraph, let's select paragraph, you can make changes. But here is the thing. You're going to start making changes and what's going on? Nothing is changing. And the reason is you actually first have to go and select tablet. The responsive view and this little setting here, they are not linked, which is a major problem because I run into this all the time. You will have to make sure that when you're in tablet view, you select tablet view. And now if you look here at the paragraph text and I increase it, you're going to see it will increase. But only when you have done both of that. Now, let's say, for example, I decide I want to also make changes to the paragraph in mobile view. I'll say Control minus, Command minus on my keyboard. And now scroll down to get to the paragraphs I have here. Go again to styling, select the paragraph. And again, it's by default to desktop. Why it cannot just automatically go to mobile device so I don't make a mistake. You have to be really aware of this. I've pointed it out to you. And because you are not going to do this often, you do this like once when you set up a website, when you start styling out your headings, you're going to forget about it. And then next time when you do your next website, it's going to catch you off guard. One last thing I want to mention if you understand what HTML tags are. This over here is styling. It's got nothing to do with HTML tags. In the world of WordPress and many other builders and SEO, when we see heading 1 or H1, we think of a HTML tag. That is not the case in Brizy. This is completely independent from your HTML tag. In Brizy, you can set the HTML tag by clicking on the text and go to settings here with the cog, and you will see HTML tag. And from here, you will set it. There are also a number of other places within Brizy that you can even set HTML tags for your containers. But this is not linked to the styling. Unfortunately, in my case, how I'm setting up this website, I would like my heading 1 to be an H2. Even though it's heading 1, it's a H2 for me, and I would like that to be throughout my site. The problem is that every time you create this, you will have to remember to go to the settings and make sure that you choose the HTML tag H2.